Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the final race of the season for the NNSCRA Stadium Super Truck Series. We get ready for our fifth and final race. It's the season finale. At the end of the day, we will be crowning a champion, our inaugural champion, if this series decides to come back at some point in time. Last week, we were at the half-mile dirt track of Bristol, and boy did it shake up the point standings and give us a very interesting scenario coming into our season finale. Here today we are at Fuel Motorsports Park. Just think of it kind of almost as a New Hampshire, but dirt track covered. I kind of guess is the best way that I could describe this one to you guys. And we are getting ready here for our first of two heat races. And of course, these heat races are going to mean a lot to drivers that come into this race with a mathematical chance of leaving as the champion here today. And we're going to try and keep you up to date with the live points as well as we can. We'll try and, after the two heats and LCQ, give you what the scenario is heading into the main event based on who makes it into the main event, who doesn't make it into the main event. We saw last week Karson Gum and a number of others, Dallas McIntosh and Mitchell Collins and Derek Hamill, they all missed out on the main event, and that put a whole bunch of new players up there in the hunt to be able to win this championship here in this season finale. But of course, the big story coming to this one has got to be the run that Chris Dollerton has had. 2 weeks ago, he took the checkered flag in the third race of the season at Monster Truck Rally. Then last week, he doubled down with his second straight win, and he comes into today's race as consequence as the points leader, but not by much. We're going to give you the point scenario in just a moment. And Dollerton, by the way, is in this heat here, heat number 1, and he is rolling off there from the inside of row 2. So good starting track position for a driver coming into this race trying to win the championship. And maybe, is it possible? Of course it is, but is it likely? Not really. But then again, I didn't think it was likely for it to be a two-time winner. Chris Dollerton trying to go for his third win in a row, third win in only a 5-race season. Now, the most points that a driver can get in this whole event is 40 points. 25 points if they win the main event, 3 bonus points if they lead the most laps, and of course 12 points if they win their heat. So 40 points is technically the majority of points that you can, the maximum points you can get in today's event. With that being said, we have to look at drivers that are 40 points away from the points that are coming to this race. Now, right now, Chris Dollerton is the points leader. He has 69 points in total. So that means that these are the drivers that do have a shot, mathematically, of winning the championship. But a lot of scenarios have to play out into their favor during the course of the heat races, the LCQ, and the main event. So Dollerton has the points lead. He's only 3 points over Dillon Young. He's only 10 points over Jonny Gardner. Dallas McIntosh, he is 4th in points. He is 13 points back. 15 points back is Karson Gum. 17 points back is Cody Smart. 20 points back, Mitchell Collins. 21 points back is Derek Hamill. 23 points back is Michael Norman. 25 back are Preston Plourd, our winner from Island Rally, and Alvaro Torres. 28 points back are Matthew Rodriguez and Ryan Brommer. 29 points back are Wyatt Quail, Andrew Rich, and Carter Friesen. 30 points back is Benny Watson. 32 points back is Raphael Leduc. 33 back, Austin LaPlante. 35 back is Ashlin Boyd. And then Jack Mitchell, Zach Rogers, and Jesse Turner, they are 39 points back. The only other driver that mathematically has a shot, and he is the extreme long shot right now, a total of 40 points back, and that is Matt McIntire. So a lot of drivers I named right there still have a mathematical shot of winning the championship at the end of the day, but a lot of things have to come into play and fall into their favor. And obviously with Chris Dollerton with good starting track position, if he makes it up into the main event, boy, it's really going to be tough for these drivers to try and wrestle that championship away from him, unless Dillon Young, who is only 3 points back, can maybe put up a fight. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here for our first heat race. Jack Mitchell will start on the pole position for this one, and he'll start alongside of Michael Norman. There's Matt Haas alongside Chris Dollerton, as we mentioned. Good starting track position for him. Seth Cole, who made the main event for the first time in his career last week, lines up alongside of Adam Garcia. Ashlin Boyd alongside of Cole Baker. Preston Plourd, our Island Rally winner, lines up alongside of Ryan Brommer. Zach Rogers alongside James Qualls. There's Matthew Rodriguez alongside of Dallas McIntosh, our winner from Coliseum, to open up the season.
Drivers, start your engines.
As we get the command, Alvaro Torres lines up alongside of Karson Gum, who lost the points lead last week. Jonathan Zoerlein alongside of Dillon Young, starting quite a ways back as Dillon Young. Levi McIntire will start alongside of Kyle Mathews in the final row as Quentin Darlington more. Here we go then, 20 laps of racing here in this heat race. Again, no damage, no cautions. Whoever is the top 6 at the end of this heat, they will make it into the main event. Top 9 get points. So Mitchell and Norman bring us down. Green flags in the air. We're underway in the season finale. As I mentioned, this is kind of like a New Hampshire covered in dirt, and with that being said, it's a very flat track, and that's one thing that you're going to see there is drivers crowding each other off the corner. Matt Haas around right in front of Adam Garcia, and Levi McIntire gets into the back of Garcia as everybody does a pretty good job avoiding. Mitchell going to check out, at least for now. Dollerton moves into second place. Seth Cole will jump to third. Fourth now Ashlin Boyd. Fifth is going to be Ryan Brommer. Right now in the final transfer spot is Zach Rogers in the 6th. Matthew Rodriguez trying to get there with him. You see him sliding through the corner, trying to carry as much speed as they can, but that's what makes for these side-by-side battles. Dallas McIntosh, who comes in 4th in the point standings, battling back here with Karson Gum, who comes in 5th in points. Right now they are in 11th and 12th, trying to make their way up there towards the top 6. Is way wide through that corner was Matthew Rodriguez. Rubbing fenders with Michael Norman as they battle it out for the 7th position. Preston Plourd right behind them as well. Might have been a little contact there. Looked like Preston Plourd may have shoved Michael Norman into that corner. A little further up towards the front, Ryan Brommer took a peek for 5th place. I'm sorry, actually 4th on Ashlin Boyd. Couldn't make the move. And up front, Chris Dollerton on the back bumper there of Jack Mitchell. Chris Dollerton right now, he's just trying to make it into the main event and hope that drivers like Dillon Young and Dallas McIntosh don't. Right now, Chris Dollerton running in 2nd place would be in line for 10 points, which I can't say would ice it, but if he makes it into the main event, Dillon Young, Karson Gum don't. I mean, it's really going to lessen the competitors he's going to have here in the season finale with the championship on the line. I mean, do you give up 2 points to Jack Mitchell, let him win the first heat, take the transfer into the main event, take your 10 points, and then just try and see what you do in the main event race? I mean, right now, the scenario is perfect for him with the fact that he's got drivers like Karson Gum, Dillon Young, Dallas McIntosh all way back there as we're watching the battle for the final transfer spot between Matthew Rodriguez and Zach Rogers. I thought for a moment there Matthew Rodriguez was going to get hooked in the right rear by Zach Rogers, but he was not. This is for 6th place. Rodriguez, Rogers, Preston Plourd, Michael Norman in this group, along with James Qualls. Right now, Matt Rod is in control of the position. Only 6 laps completed, though. Still a long ways to go. Actually, I think only 5 laps completed, because I thought the ticker hadn't updated itself yet, but apparently, yeah, we're on lap 6. 5 completed. Oh, James Qualls! Nice save! Contact with Zach Rogers and Preston Plourd. And we nearly had another wreck there in the back straightaway. Michael Norman down there, 2 tires on the pavement. Boy, he really gained some good ground. Oh, and again, James Qualls getting turned. This time by Preston Plourd, and Karson Gum gets into him, but Karson kept going. That's going to hold up the 10 of Preston Plourd. Oh, trouble for Michael, is that Karson Gum? That's Karson Gum down on the apron. I think when he entered into the corner, he entered too low after he dove low to avoid James Qualls, and that messed up his entry to turn 1. That's going to drop him back quite a bit. There's Dillon Young trying to work his way up towards the front. Started towards the rear of the field, and after that, I think he's worked his way at least up somewhere close to the top 10. Let's see where he crosses the line in. Was 16th last time by, gained 4 spots up to 12th. Still quite a ways away from that transfer spot. A driver that is not, however, is Dallas McIntosh. He's now in 8th place. He's got to catch up to Matthew Rodriguez, who has that final transfer position, but it's still not over till it's over. There's still quite a ways to go here in this heat, so there's still plenty of opportunity. Good battle here for 4th place still. Ashlin Boyd and Ryan Brommer. Brommer might take a peek here down into 1. He's right on Ashlin Boyd's back bumper. And Matthew Rodriguez says, yeah, go ahead and make the pass, then I'll pass for 5th and not be in this final transfer spot anymore, as Brommer almost got to the left rear quarter panel, can't quite do it. Seth Cole just riding in 3rd place, trying to make his 2nd straight main event. Chris Dollerton trying to make his 3rd straight, and Jack Mitchell there I believe he's made one main event this season. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was at. Not exactly coming to me, though. Right now, trying to pick up what would be his first win of the season in any right in terms of a heat win or an overall win in the main event or an LCQ win. Up, got a side-by-side now. Ryan Brommer did finally get to the inside of Ashlin Boyd. This is a battle for 4th place. Matthew Rodriguez right there as well. Michael Norman, Dallas McIntosh trying to close. Brommer pushes up off the corner. Little contact between himself and Ashlin Boyd. They keep it together, at least for the moment. Top 3 for the moment have kind of broken away, and they're kind of riding by themselves, so this is really the best battle on track right now. Wow! Ryan Brommer just barely sliding up there in front of Ashlin Boyd for the position. That was nearly a wreck. That was a picture-perfect slide job by the 21, no doubt about that. And now Matthew Rodriguez trying to make the pass for 5th place, which would then put Ashlin Boyd back into the final transfer spot. And Michael Norman is very quickly reeling in this group. So Michael Norman trying to get himself up into the picture of making it in the main event. All depends on how long it takes Matthew Rodriguez to get around Ashlin Boyd. I don't think he's got him cleared just yet. Ashlin Boyd battling it back again on the top side. Probably will have to give up the spot this time. Ashlin Boyd can get back to the throttle soon enough before Matt Rod can clear him. Nope, Matt Rod gets the spot. So now Ashlin Boyd drops back to the 6th position, but 4th, 5th, and 6th are still all really close together, so we could have another side-by-side battle in just a moment. And you see Michael Norman, that orange truck, starting to reel him in. Matthew Rodriguez, he wants more. He's going to try and go for 4th now on Ryan Brommer. Right now, everything just going the way of Chris Dollerton. As right now, he is in line to get 10 points and make it into the main event, and his competition is way back here. Dallas McIntosh right now in 8th. You got Preston Plourd back in 13th. Karson Gum back in 14th. And where is Dillon Young? Oh, wow, something must have happened to the 2, because he faded all the way back to 20th. Might have gotten together with Jonathan Zoerlein because they're back in 20th and 21st right now. The final 2 spots on track. So that might have just taken Dillon Young out of the running for this championship. McIntosh and Karson Gum, they're not really in line right now. Michael Norman, bear in mind, he's trying to get up here into the main event. He does have a shot at Chris Dollerton. And he's going to try and get that 6th position from Ashlin Boyd. Everything he can, and oh, maybe he might get a little help. Matthew Rodriguez, contact with Ryan Brommer. Boyd going to get by. That's for 4th. And Michael Norman now trying to get by as well. So Michael Norman, who came into this race 23 points behind Chris Dollerton. Now, obviously, he's not going to gain a whole heck of a lot of points on Chris here in this heat. Right now, with where Michael's running, he would get 4 points. Dollerton would get 10, so that would increase the gap between Norman and Dollerton to, I believe, 29 points. Oh, look out! We got trouble there! Ryan Brommer, Ashlin Boyd get together! And McIntosh tries to get through, and he gets collected! Dallas McIntosh not lifting, trying to get through, trying to get a transfer spot. And it's going to cost him possibly a shot at the championship. So now who moved up into 6th because of that? It might have been Quentin Moore. I think it was Quentin Moore now moving into the 6th position. Kyle Mathews now in 7th, so now he's trying to run down the 14. And Michael Norman just gained some points on Dollerton because of that. Dollerton now in 2nd, Norman now in 4th. Now the gap between those two as far as the heat points go is only 3 points, which means that now the gap between Norman and Dollerton is only 26 points. So it is still not over. Although I do think Norman really needs Dollerton to lose at least one more position, because you can gain 25 points for the win, and 15th dead last gets 6 points. So yeah, Michael Norman still needs some help. Right now, though, This is the battle for the final transfer spot between Quentin Moore and Kyle Mathews, as Jack Mitchell, just out for a Sunday drive, is about to come around and get the white flag. So it looks like it's going to be Mitchell, Dollerton, Seth Cole, Michael Norman, and Matthew Rodriguez who will make it into the main event here for Heat 1, at least that we know probably confirmed as the white flag's displayed. We're going to drop back here to this battle for the final transfer spot between Quentin Moore and Kyle Mathews. Here comes Mathews for the spot! Can Mathews clear him is the question. These two might find themselves in a photo finish drag race coming to the line. Oh, can they make it through the corner without wrecking each other is the question. Here comes Quentin Moore battling back on the top side. Kyle Mathews trying to wrestle away the position, trying to get into the main event. Quentin Moore trying to do the same. Kyle's going to hold court on the bottom. Can Quentin Moore battle back on the top side? No, Kyle Mathews has him cleared, and Kyle Mathews gets the final transfer spot into the main event here today at Fuel Motorsports Park. He will join Matthew Rodriguez, Michael Norman, Seth Cole, Chris Dollerton, and Jack Mitchell. Right now, Chris Dollerton is definitely putting himself in the forefront of possibly winning this championship. We're going to have to see what happens in the next heat, but Dollerton just gained 10 points for finishing in second place. And now basically the pressure is on Jonny Gardner, Cody Smart, Mitchell Collins, Derek Hamill. I think they basically, at this point, they need to win their heat. Michael Norman is going to transfer into the main event, but I'm not certain if he now mathematically has a shot at Chris Dollerton or not. Dollerton with 10 points. Norman gets 7. So I don't know. I don't know if it's still mathematically possible or not. You got to be within 28 points of the the points leader when you head into the main event. So we'll have to wait and update on that, see if that is going to be the case. I don't think Matthew Rodriguez will be there either. He's going to obviously get some good points today. Came into this race, I believe it was 12th in the standings. He'll finish in 5th in this heat, so he gets 5 points for the heat. But I don't know. Jack Mitchell, though, great run for him, and he will transfer into the main event for what I believe is going to be the second time this season for him. For Dollerton, it's his 3rd straight main event that he races into. Seth Cole, back-to-back times, we'll see him in the main event. Michael Norman, I believe this is his 2nd time in the main event. Matthew Rodriguez, this might be his 3rd, but I would have to check back. And Kyle Mathews, I think this is Kyle's, I think it's his 2nd. It might be his 1st. I would have to look back and find out. The other drivers that will get points will be Quentin Moore, James Qualls, and Preston Plourd, but they will have to rely on the LCQ to make it into the main event, as will everybody else further on down. And a lot of drivers that had a shot here, if they made it in the main event, to challenge Chris Dollerton for this championship. Karson Gum, 12th. Dallas McIntosh, 16th. And Dillon Young finishes dead last in this heat, 21st. So they're going to have to rely on the LCQ, and even with that, you only gain a maximum of 3 points in the LCQ, so I don't know if they're even winning the LCQ or even transferring in the LCQ, if they're going to mathematically have a shot at Chris Dollerton or not. It's really all going to depend on what happens in our second heat, and that's coming up right now. Well, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Chris Dollerton has laid down the gauntlet, and he said, hey, if you're going to win this championship, you're going to wrestle it away from me, you've got to bring your A game. Because with Chris Dollerton finishing 2nd in that heat race, like I said, coming in the points leader and setting the precedent like that, I think you're going to have to see somebody in this field like maybe Jonny Gardner, Cody Smart, Mitchell Collins, Derek Hamill. They're going to have to win this heat race. Like, that's basically what it's going to take to have them still within a mathematical area to challenge Dollerton in the main event for the championship. So Kyle Thomas lines up on the pole for this one. Let's take a look at the lineup for this second heat. He will line up alongside of Cole Deaver. And then you've got Wade Brommer, line up alongside of Jesse Turner. Wyatt Quail, who is mathematically eligible to challenge for the championship, but again, I think he needs to win this heat race. So line up alongside Boston LaPlante. There's Cody Smart, who also has a shot. He's alongside of Andrew Rich. Raphael Leduc alongside of James Shelley. There's Mitchell Collins. Must-win situation, I think, here in this heat for him, alongside of Bobby Frazier. Same deal for Derek Hamill. Lines up alongside of Zachary Fitzwater. Alexander Rowe, alongside of Jonny Gardner, who out of these drivers in this heat is the highest up in the point standings, third in points coming to this race, 10 points behind Chris Dollerton. So he needs to finish first or second, I really think, to have a shot. Then you got Matt McIntyre alongside of Benny Watson. Watson kind of a long shot coming to this race. He's 30 points back from the points lead coming into this race. Zack Winkle alongside of Jordan Lopes, and Carter Friesen will be in the final row. He's 29 points back of the points leader coming into this race. So right now I think a lot of the pressure would be on the 37 of Jonny Gardner. I think what he basically needs to do is he needs to finish somewhere in the top 4 to still mathematically have a shot at Chris Dollerton in the main event. So we'll see if he can do it. We saw he's starting mid-pack in this heat race. And we'll see if he can get his way at least up there into the top 5, preferably the top 3, to try and keep himself at least within striking distance of Dollerton to make it into the main event. Green flags in the air for the second heat at Fuel Motorsports Park. Of course, you got to be careful of the early incidents as well. And we had some in the first heat race. I'm pretty sure we'll have some here in the second heat race as they stay double file, at least for now. But don't be surprised if they attempt 3 wide, especially starting double file when they took the green flag. Kyle Thomas will get out to the lead, and look at them there, back there. Ooh, boy, it looks like they're going almost 4 wide, and instead it's just double file through the turn. Wyatt Quail going for a big move here, 3 wide into turn 1. This could end poorly. Oh, Jesse Turner crowding Cole Deaver. And somehow, no, they're not going to make it in through there. Oh, wait. Oh, no, they don't have it saved. Never mind. Jonny Gardner, I think he got through that. Yes, he did. Still spinning back there. That is Cody Smart. Cody Smart, one of the drivers that had a shot at the championship. He's in trouble. Matt McIntire as well. Alexander Rowe was back there also. As we got a battle for the lead. Wyatt Quail with that strong 3-wide move now takes the top position away from Kyle Thomas. And Jonny Gardner, mission complete, got through that initial wreck, as did Mitchell Collins in the 41. So both of them might have a shot still at Chris Dollerton in the main event. Right now, Mitchell Collins is in a transfer spot. Jonny Gardner faded back a little bit there. He's now back in 8th, now trying to fight it out with Zack Winkle. But if Gardner can get up there into the top 6, he might have a shot at Dollerton. Benny Watson, right now in the 8th position behind Jesse Turner. They're trying to catch Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater is trying to make, I believe, his first main event of the season. And right now he's holding on to that final transfer spot. Now trying to challenge Mitchell Collins for 5th. Ahead of them, you got Jordan Lopes. Lopes started near the rear of the field, if I recall correctly. I think he started like 18th, 19th place. And he's already up inside the top 5 in 5th. James Shelley now challenging Kyle Thomas for 2nd as Wyatt Quail begins to scamper away. Battle is on for 5th. Might be 3 wide between Fitzwater, Collins, and Benny Watson as that goes into the wall. That's Fitzwater. Watson's going to slip by for 5th. Fitzwater's going to hang on to 6th at least for now. Turner trying to take the spot away. That was nearly a wreck right there. Meanwhile, up further here, we got James Shelley. He's fighting with Kyle Thomas for 2nd. Jordan Lopes right there in 4th place. He wants to slip by for 3rd. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide off of this corner. Shelley tries to clear. Contact. Shelley saves it. What a save by James Shelley off the nose of Kyle Thomas. He's going to lose some momentum here, though, as now Benny Watson enters into the fray. Look at Benny Watson thinking about going up the middle 3 wide, shoving Kyle Thomas into the wall. This is for the 3rd position. Still more contact between Watson and Thomas. And now Watson with a big run around the outside of James Shelley. Contact now between those two. Shelley into the wall. Watson into the wall. Around goes Shelley. Watson spins. Fitzwater spins. And they just all took themselves out of transfer spots. Turner is spun. And that's going to change up the top 6. That may have just moved Gardner into a transfer spot. Kyle Thomas in 3rd, and oh, now there's Jonny Gardner getting spun by Mitchell Collins. Can they get it fired back up and keep going? Oh, they're wrecking even more. That's LaPlante around, right in front of Carter Friesen. And Zack Winkle made it through. Gardner kept it going. I think he's still in 6th. Cole Deaver got away from it all. He's now up to 4th. And don't look now, we might have a battle for the lead. Jordan Lopes is reeling in Wyatt Quail. This is the battle for 5th. Winkle's got it. Gardner wants it. Right now, Gardner is in a transfer spot. Bobby Frazier now is up to 7th. 8th is Raphael Leduc. 9th is Wade Brommer. Shelley, who we saw spin out, now he's fighting for 10th place with Derek Hamill. And Alexander Rowe, who had the early issues, got spun out earlier. Now he's up there. He's currently in 12th. But did that effectively take Mitchell Collins out of the championship hunt? Battle for the lead. Lopes to the inside. Now Jordan Lopes comes into this race a total of 45 points behind Chris Dollerton, so even with winning this heat, he will not be able to be mathematically eligible for the championship. But certainly putting on a good show right now, trying to at least win a heat race before the season is over. And boy, he had to do he had to really run down Wyatt Quail. I mean, Wyatt Quail had made the pass on Kyle Thomas, was starting to pull away. Lopes then made the move for 2nd. Took him a little while to pass Kyle Thomas, and then he had to reel in Wyatt Quail and was able to pass him. So, no doubt about it, Lopes has got a very fast truck. As a matter of fact, he just ran his fastest lap of the race. We're 11 laps in, and he just ran his fastest lap of this event. Kyle Thomas, even though he started out in front, he's still hanging there in 3rd. He's getting reeled in, though, possibly, though, for that 3rd position by Cole Deaver. Cole Deaver coming to this race with only 16 total points on the season, so this is a great run for the 36 truck. Zack Winkle right now in 5th, and there's Jonny Gardner trying to hang on to 6th, but not too far behind. That's Bobby Frazier trying to get up there and get that final transfer position as Gardner runs very wide through that corner. Now right now, Gardner coming to this race was 10 points back from Chris Dollerton. Dollerton finished 2nd in his heat race. Right now, Gardner is running 6th. So that means that would be another 6 points that Dollerton would gain on Gardner, making it 16 points difference between the 12 and the 37 heading into the main event. And that's with a big asterisk of if Jonny Gardner even makes it into the main event, because he's in danger of losing that final transfer spot. Here comes Bobby Frazier for that position. If Gardner does not make it into the main event, he can kiss the championship goodbye, and he just wrecked Bobby Frazier, and he got the worst end of it. Oh, they're going to wreck into him. And it's a big pileup on the back straightaway. Gardner's going to get away, but Bobby Frazier now is firmly in control of that 6th position. Alexander Rowe now at 7th, and Gardner fades back to 8th. As now Raphael Leduc trying to go around Derek Hamill. I think the car that nailed Jonny Gardner was the 27 of Wade Brommer, as Mitchell Collins just got in the wall. He got a little bit of help there from, I believe that's LaPlante. He kept it going. Oh, we might have a wreck up here. McIntire, Carter Friesen. Oh my goodness! Up and over, flipping is Zachary Fitzwater after contact with Andrew Rich. And that truck is going to land back on all 4 wheels. We got another truck upside down. That is Rich. LaPlante has to wait for Andrew Rich to teleport. Oh my goodness, that was a violent hit. Battle on for 3rd here between Kyle Thomas and Cole Deaver as they make their way around the slow machine of LaPlante, who had to wait until Andrew Rich teleported back to pit road. Oh, Deaver just wrecked LaPlante, although LaPlante kind of crowded him up. That's not for position, and Deaver is going to at least hang on for now to that 4th spot. He was trying to reel in Kyle Thomas for 3rd. Now he has to wind up the band and try again. Jordan Lopes and Wyatt Quail just made their way around the 39 of Fitzwater, who had that barrel roll but kept it going. So now Fitzwater is a lap down. That's only 4 laps to go for Jordan Lopes. So right now in those transfer spots are Lopes, Quail, Kyle Thomas, Cole Deaver, Zack Winkle, and Bobby Frazier. None of these drivers really are mathematically in the hunt to take the championship away from Chris Dollerton. I mean, I look maybe at Wyatt Quail. He came into this race 29 points behind Dollerton. They're both going to finish with the same amount of points, but the most you can gain in the main event is 28 points. And even then, dead last gets 6 points. So I guess the most you can really gain is, 22 points? So if he's going to still be 29 points behind Dollerton heading to the main event, I don't think he's mathematically eligible to take the championship. If he could get up there and possibly get this win from Jordan Lopes, that's an extra 2 points. But even then, that's 27 points difference. So that still puts him mathematically out. This battle for third will not go away, even despite Austin LaPlante trying to mess it up. Cole Deaver reeling Kyle Thomas back in. And this is a battle here for fifth between Zack Winkle and Bobby Frazier. Alexander Rowe right now is in seventh. Jonny Gardner in eighth. He would get points for this heat, but he would not make it into the main event. He would have to rely on the LCQ. And even then, I don't really know if that would help him out that much. Raphael Leduc right now in ninth. Battle on for 10th between Carter Friesen and Matt McIntire. Actually, more than a battle, it's a door bang. I want to go back up there to that battle for third between Thomas and Deaver, because that seems to be the best battle right now, as the white flag was just displayed for Jordan Lopes, who still enjoys pretty good lead between himself and Wyatt Quail. So I think Lopes has got the win in this heat locked up. Catching up there, I believe that's Mitchell Collins just ahead, number of drivers just ahead. And Jordan Lopes will win the second heat. Second will be Wyatt Quail. Third place will be Kyle Thomas. He'll hang on. Deaver will get fourth. Zack Winkle will be fifth. And Bobby Frazier makes a last-ditch effort to try and get fifth place, but he'll still transfer to the main event in sixth. So Dollerton got 10 points for finishing second. And Jonny Gardner is going to get 2 points for finishing eighth. So even if he wins the LCQ, most he could get is 5 points going into the main event if he makes the main event, which puts him at a 5-point difference deficit to Chris Dollerton, which means that he could go into the main event with 15, 16, or 17 points difference between himself and Dollerton, and that's only if he finishes in one of the 3 transfer spots in the LCQ race. Right now, Dollerton's got to have a big smile on his face, knowing now that just about everybody that's trying to run him down for that championship, they're all going to have to rely on the LCQ. Lopes, Quail, Thomas, Deaver, Winkle, and Frazier, though, they will all make the main event. I believe this is going to be a main event debut for Bobby Frazier, and I believe it's also going to be a main event debut for Zack Winkle, so a great way to end off their seasons. I think this might, I'm not 100% certain, but I think this could possibly be a main event debut for Jordan Lopes as well, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. Wyatt Quail, boy, I mean, he gave it a good effort here, finished in second, but I don't think that he's going to be able to mathematically get Chris Dollerton for the championship. I think he's going to be at about a 27-point deficit to Dollerton heading into the main event, and you need to be at least 22 points away from the points leader. But obviously trying to finish out the season as best he can is the driver of the 29. He would love to finish out the season with a main event win, no doubt about that. So everybody else from 7th on down, they are going to have to rely on the LCQ. Rowe, Gardner, and Leduc did manage to get points here for this heat, but whether they'll be in the main event or not, that all depends on the LCQ race, which is coming up right now. Alright then, here we go. It's LCQ time. It's the last opportunity for drivers to try and get themselves into the hunt to win this championship away from Chris Dollerton. And the drivers that we're obviously going to be focusing on are drivers that are up there in the point standings. The most they can gain in this LCQ, if they win it, is 3 points. Now, Jonny Gardner did manage to gain, 2 points, I think it was, back in the second heat. So he could build off of that and at least try and keep it to about a 15, 16, 17-point advantage between himself and Chris Dollerton heading into the main event, but he has to make it into the main event via this LCQ, which will be 20 laps in length, same as our 2 heat races, so there's plenty of time for drivers to work their way up into the top 3, but obviously I think you're going to have to miss a lot of that early mayhem, and you're going to have yourself a pretty fast truck too, because they were only in a 21 truck field in the 2 heat races, 30 trucks vying for 3 spots, the final 3 spots in the final main event of the finale here today, and we'll just have to see what happens here. It's going to be Cody Smart lining up on the pole for this one. Alongside of him is going to be Alexander Rowe, Derek Hamill alongside of Ashlin Boyd, Adam Garcia and Jonathan Zoerlein. Then it's Raphael Leduc and Benny Watson. Mitchell Collins alongside Carter Friesen, Austin LaPlante with Cole Baker, Dallas McIntosh there with Jonny Gardner. Going to be rolling off outside of, I think it's row 7, Wade Brommer alongside of Karson Gum, James Qualls and Zach Rogers, Jesse Turner and Preston Plourd, Matt Haas alongside of Matt McIntire, Zachary Fitzwater, who took that barrel roll alongside of James Shelley. I'm going to talk over the command. Ryan Brommer alongside of Dillon Young, starting at the back again. Alvaro Torres and Andrew Rich, who I believe he also was upside down in the second heat race. And Quentin Moore, Levi McIntire make up the final row here for our final LCQ race of the season. So as I stated, I think that really the pressure is on. And I think only 3, maybe 4 drivers, well, maybe 5 have a shot at Chris Dollerton if they make it in via the LCQ. And those would be Dillon Young, Jonny Gardner, Dallas McIntosh, Karson Gum, and Cody Smart, who starts on the pole. I think those are the only drivers that have a shot at Chris Dollerton in the main event mathematically if they make it in one of the top 3 spots here in the LCQ, which is green. Said, you got to be careful of the early incidents as these drivers will try going 3 wide early on. Did they wreck back here? No, they didn't. I thought they might have. I thought I saw a truck possibly up in the wall, but not yet. As now Derek Hamill tries to get the inside of Cody Smart. Cody Smart cannot fall out of the top 3 here as we are 3 wide further back. That is Mitchell Collins, Raphael Leduc, and Adam Garcia. And the 3 wide further back behind them, that's Dallas McIntosh making some bold moves there in the 4. There's going to be a wreck, and that's McIntosh hooked up into the wall, and that's going to split up the field. A lot of drivers getting held up because of this. McIntosh is one of them. That, I think, just effectively took him out of the championship hunt. James Shelley was held up behind this, as was Zachary Fitzwater. I believe Karson Gum got held up by this. He was, so that might have taken him out of the championship picture. Back up towards the front again here, as that's another bold move by Mitchell Collins, trying to get the inside of Raphael Leduc. I believe that's Leduc, yes it is. Right now the 3 podium positions currently held by Hamill, Smart, and Zoerlein. Look at Collins really trying hard to get by. And will make the pass, at least on Alexander Rowe. Oh, contact! Puts Raphael Leduc into the wall, and I mean, you can't be friendly now. There's only 3 spots up for grabs. Jonny Gardner up to 8th. Got a shot. He's still within striking distance to get up there into the top 3. And where is... trying to find the 2 of Dillon Young. Oh, got a wreck back here. That's James Qualls around. Karson Gum collected. And there is Dillon Young now slicing his way through, but just moments ago he was dead last. And, ooh, he almost got clipped by Zachary Fitzwater. That was close. Right now, Dillon Young looks like he might be out of the picture for the championship. McIntosh back there. Obviously, he's out of it. We just saw Karson Gum in his 2nd wreck of the day. So now the focus really is on this guy right here, Cody Smart. Now, Cody Smart came into this race 17 points behind Dollerton. Dollerton picked up 10 points in his heat, so that's 27 points. And if Cody Smart finishes with the win, that's 24 points difference between himself and Dollerton, and the most points you can gain are 22. Boy, I don't think he could, even with the win here in this LCQ, I don't think he could mathematically do it. It was back when Dollerton finished 2nd in his heat race that really put the pressure on these drivers. If Dollerton had made it in and only finished, like, say, 6th, he would only have gained 4 points, which would have made it a little bit more feasible for drivers to kind of have a long shot points-wise to be able to get Dollerton in the main event. But to rack up 10 points in the heat race really slimmed it down of the people that had a shot at maybe getting Chris Dollerton for the championship. But never say die. Jonny Gardner fighting his way up here, at least trying to get to the front. He's going to make his way by Ashlin Boyd. Contact! He got spun! That just took him out of the championship picture, no doubt about it. Gardner around on the front straightaway, and that may have just iced it for this championship. Gardner crowding Ashlin Boyd. And Gardner really, if he had finished up in the top 3, I think he was the only driver that had a shot to maybe get Chris Dollerton for this championship. So Chris Dollerton, he might be able to just run wherever he could finish probably dead last in the main event and still walk away with the title. And it all really goes back to Chris Dollerton getting hot at just the right moment. As we might have a wreck here for a second. Zoerlein trying to pass Cody Smart. And he will get the position. Cody Smart going to let him go. Now drives it deep there into turn 3. But you got to think about when Chris Dollerton, when that hot streak began back at the 3rd race of the season at Monster Truck Rally, Dollerton making the main event for the first time this season, went on to win, and then last week says, all right, you know what, I'm going to lay down the gauntlet and see if anybody's able to best me. Oh, Cody Smart gets put in the wall there by Zoerlein, and they both are going to drop out of transfer spots now. Mitchell Collins just moved up to 3rd. Rowe just moved up to 2nd. As we got a truck up ahead to deal with. Oh, no, it's actually Derek Hamill that's way out ahead now because of the contact for 2nd. And that is going to put Cody Smart outside of the top 3. Trying to look and see. Yeah, there's really nobody back here that's got a shot mathematically of getting Chris Dollerton. I mean, Preston Plourd, nowhere to be found. I have to look and see. I don't remember where Michael Norman finished. There's McIntosh way back here. Gardner not too far up ahead. Karson Gum is back here behind Dillon Young. They are 28th and 29th right now. That is next to last as we had some contact there. Alexander Rowe, Cody Smart, Raphael Leduc, Ashlin Boyd all in this group, and Cody Smart running way low there. Ooh, might be a contact here, and there is! Rowe is around. And Rowe's going to spin it. He was 4th. Had a shot of getting up there into the podium. That now moves Cody Smart back to 4th place. As Zoerlein trying to run down Cole Baker for 2nd. Baker all of a sudden popped up into the podium. I don't know when that happened, but it did. Baker now up there with a shot of, I believe, making what would be his first main event. Yes, it would. So Michael Norman came into this race 23 points behind Chris Dollerton. And even with that, as we said, you can gain maybe 22 points in the main event. So with Dollerton finishing 2nd, I think Norman finished in 4th or 5th. I don't think Norman's got a shot at Dollerton. So as this race progresses, it's looking more and more like Chris Dollerton has got this championship wrapped up, and we haven't even run the main event race yet. So it may just be everybody just running for broke trying to win the race rather than the championship when we get to the main event. So I think Chris Dollerton's going to have a points gap big enough on everybody, including Michael Norman, where there's no way that Michael Norman, even with the max amount of points and Dollerton finishing last, I don't think there's even a mathematical shot of Michael Norman stealing away the championship from Chris Dollerton. It's not looking like Dillon Young or Jonny Gardner or Dallas McIntosh or Karson Gum are going to make it in. Cody Smart, we've figured out with the calculations with where he's running right now. I mean, I think right now his hope is to try and get 3rd, where he would only get 1 point. So I think that would put him mathematically out of the championship hunt by the time we got to the main event, if he manages to finish in 3rd, as Zoerlein right now enjoys about a 1.2 second lead between himself and the 31. Michael Norman too far back. Collins, Hamill, nowhere up close. Well, actually, hold on. Well, no, I don't think even Derek Hamill's got a shot. He was 21 points back. So 31 points back if you count the 10 points that Dollerton got. and then I take away 3, that's 28 points. So even there, that's not 22 points. It's more than 22 points. So I think, yeah, if my calculations are correct, Chris Dollerton right now, with where drivers are running currently, and if the finishing results are the way that they would be at this moment in time, I think Chris Dollerton, when the checkered flag waves here in this LCQ, will already be your Season 1 Super Stadium Truck Series champion. It's not over yet, but the top 3 are pretty well separated from each other, and there's a pretty good gap from 3rd back to 4th place, which is still remaining about 1.2 seconds. Let's see if it closes up for gains this time, and, well, he closed it down by 0.2. It's now only a second between Cody Smart and Jonathan Zoerlein, but there's also only 2 laps to go. So it looks like Derek Hamill, who comes into this race 8th in the point standings, he will make it into the main event via the LCQ. Cole Baker will be making his main event debut, running in 2nd. And Jonathan Zoerlein, who made it into the main event back at Monster Truck Rally. Remember, he dominated Heat 1 in that event. Looks like he will be making his 2nd appearance in the main event. Looks like he will finish in 3rd. Final 2 corners for Derek Hamill. And believe it or not, before the main event even starts, I think we can safely say that it's going to be Chris Dollerton who's going to be your Season 1 Stadium Super Truck Series champion, as Hamill will transfer into the main event, wins the LCQ. Baker's going to finish in 2nd, and Zoerlein brings it home in 3rd. They will transfer into the final 3 positions in the main event for the season finale here at Fuel Motorsports Park. And with that, mathematically, comes the departure of Dillon Young, Jonny Gardner, Dallas McIntosh, Karson Gum, Cody Smart, Mitchell Collins. Now all out of the hunt for the championship, as Chris Dollerton is pretty much going to take it. I'm going to work the calculators before we end up getting into our main event, just to make sure I'm 100% right that nobody's mathematically going to be able to get this championship away from Chris Dollerton. But like I said, just working it in my head, I believe everybody is outside of the 22-point realm. That is the necessity of max points you can get in the main event to be able to take the championship away from somebody. Actually, I think even 22 points would have you tied with somebody. I think you'd actually have to be only 21 points back. But regardless, show you the finishing results here all the way down for the LCQ. Boy, Dillon Young. Boy, that team has dropped the ball last couple of weeks. They finished poorly, if I recall correctly, in the LCQ last week. They might have been dead last in the LCQ last week at Bristol Dirt, now that I think of it. And they finished dead last here in the LCQ race here today. So a team that came in 2nd in the point standings, started out the season so well. Boy, they really fell apart at the worst time. So it'll be Hamill, Baker, and Zoerlein who will make it into the main event. Our 15 drivers are set. Let's get ready now for the main event. See if there is going to be a challenger for Chris Dollerton's championship or not, and see who's going to finish out the season with a victory here in the main event at Fuel Motorsports Park. So now we get ready for the main event, and I worked the calculator just before these drivers went out on the grid, and indeed, it will be Chris Dollerton who will be your Season 1 Stadium Super Truck Series champion, because right now the only driver that had a remote shot at basically putting up a fight with Chris Dollerton for the championship would have been Dillon Young and possibly Jonny Gardner if either one of them had made it into the main event via the LCQ, but as we know, neither one of them did. Right now, as the points stand, Dollerton would have a 13-point lead between himself and Dillon Young, 18 points between himself and Jonny Gardner, and they would have mathematically had a shot at the championship. Michael Norman did make it here into the main event, but he's 26 points back according to the live points, and as I stated, most points you can gain here in the main event is 28 points, and 15th place gets 6 points, so the most you can gain is 22 points. That puts Michael Norman 4 points outside of the mathematical realm of taking the championship away from Chris Dollerton. So that's a tough break there for drivers like Jonny Gardner, like Dillon Young, who even right now mathematically could have taken the championship away from Chris Dollerton had they made it into the main event. But Kyle Thomas, he started on the pole for the first heat, and he was able to transfer into the main event with that good qualifying effort. He lines up on the pole for the main event alongside of Derek Hamill. Then it's going to be Wyatt Quail and Jack Mitchell, who won the first heat race. Cole Deaver alongside of Bobby Frazier. Jonathan Zoerlein alongside Michael Norman. Jonathan Zoerlein. Seth Cole, Chris Dollerton there, your champion. Jordan Lopes, who won the second heat, alongside of Kyle Mathews, who had that photo finish to be able to make it to the main event in the first heat. Zack Winkle alongside Matthew Rodriguez, and Cole Baker finished second in the LCQ. Brings up the remainder of the field. Green flag is in the air for the final time this season. Who's going to end off the year with a win in the final main event. 30 laps of racing as opposed to the 20 we had in the 2 heat races and the LCQ. Chris Dollerton, no matter where he finishes in this race, he will be walking away your champion. But he'd love to be able to set a historical mark and go to victory lane for the 3rd straight race. He won 2 weeks ago at Monster Truck Rally as we got a wreck. That's Deaver around. But Derek Hamill, and I think they both got a little bit of help from Wyatt Quail. Wow, someone's up in the wall. That's Hamill. Kyle Thomas breaks away. Looks like Deaver got it going. And Dollerton lost out on that. He dropped all the way back to 12th place. I was going to say, he's trying to chase history. He won 2 weeks ago at Monster Truck Rally. Won last week at Bristol Dirt in the main event races. He'd love to be able to go back to back to back. But right now, looks like, at least at the start of this thing, that's... I feel like it's a little bit more out of the realm of possibility than anything. Jack Mitchell won his heat race in the first heat race of the day, and he's trying to run down Jack Mitchell for that position. See if he can go 2 for 2 here today as far as his starts. Wyatt Quail right there as well in the 29. Wyatt Quail had a strong car in the second heat race. And Wyatt Quail coming into this one live points, 29 points back behind Chris Dollerton. And I think he was second, if I recall correctly, in the second heat race. And Bobby Frazier is going to save it. Contact with Derek Hamill. Kyle Mathews, Jonathan Zoerlein, Zack Winkle all darting to the bottom to avoid. Michael Norman there as well. Now, Michael Norman actually has an opportunity, depending on where he finishes, to end out the season second in the point standings. He is only 13 points back behind Dillon Young, and Dillon Young didn't make it into the main event. Oh, and as soon as I say that, he makes contact with Wyatt Quail. Jonathan Zoerlein spins, and look at this, Norman's going to slip by. And how about Kyle Mathews? Right place, right time, and just like that, he's up to 3rd. I'm sorry, up to 4th rather. And now he's going to battle with Michael Norman for that spot. But yeah, Michael Norman right now mathematically could end out the season in the second position in points. And look who else has been making his way through these wrecks. Chris Dollerton up to 6th. So, I mean, let's say that Dillon Young, Jonny Gardner, that they did manage to make it into the main event. Even here, you look here at how Chris Dollerton has been able to put together good runs. We saw him get involved in an earlier incident back on lap 1, and 5 laps later, he's up here inside of the top 5. Well, almost in the top 5. He's in 6th. This is amazing. The season that Chris Dollerton has put together, and it all really just came together back in the midway point of the season, race 3. And up to that point, he had not made it into the main event. He missed the main event at Coliseum. He missed the main event at Island Rally. Then when they took the green flag to start off the races at Monster Truck Rally, just something seemed to click. This is a second place battle. It's the best battle we got up at the front right now. Wyatt Quail trying to reel in Jack Mitchell. Mitchell who won the first heat race. Quail who finished second in the second heat race. And Kyle Thomas leading them, who started on the pole for the second heat race, right now out in front showing the way. And we might have had another wreck between Kyle Mathews and Michael Norman, because Norman's now up in 4th and Kyle Mathews has faded a long ways back. He's actually on pit road. That truck might have flipped upside down on its roof. Michael Norman and Kyle Mathews, good friends, both on and off the track, but sometimes, especially when you've got a track like this where real estate is so important, you're going to see even friends beating and banging on each other, and it may not end up the way that they planned it. Norman is over 6 seconds back from the top 3. Chris Dollerton under fire from Seth Cole. I think Dollerton's just riding. I think he wants to end out the season with a good run, obviously, but I think that if someone's right on his back bumper, give him the chrome horn, he's going to let him on by. Seth Cole in his second straight main event. Made the main event last week at Bristol Dirt, and that was his first appearance in the main event. There's a driver I want to look at because I think he's the only driver that is making his debut in the main event. Actually, no, there's 2 of them. There's one of them, Bobby Frazier. Right now, he is 11th on the scoring charts, and there's the other one, Cole Baker, right now in 12th. Zack Winkle's back here in 13th. Actually, he's another driver making his debut in the main event. My apologies. Cole Deaver back in 14th now, and right now 15th would be Kyle Mathews, who I believe is still sitting on pit road. Then again, maybe not. Did he return to the track? There's no damage, so I don't think that... Do trucks retire here with no damage, really? Camshaft issue? What? This is a no damage race. And Kyle Mathews is out with a camshaft. Okay. That's interesting. Well, I do know that there was an online race that I was driving, and it was during practice, and I hit a car so hard that it gave me engine damage, and it was no damage. So maybe it is possible, even with no damage on, that mechanical failures can take place. Regardless, Kyle Thomas continues to enjoy the view. Jack Mitchell, his view not so great out the rearview mirror, as Wyatt Quail is still there with him. However, the good news for these 3 is it looks like they're probably going to be battling amongst themselves for the win in this main event, because they continue to increase the gap back to 4th place Michael Norman. It's now almost 7.5 seconds. And none of these 3 drivers have won a main event race this season. So it looks like we are going to at least get our 4th different winner on the year. Dallas McIntosh won the season opener at Coliseum. Preston Plourd followed it up the week later at Island Rally, and then Chris Dollerton back-to-back wins at Monster Rally and last week at Bristol Dirt. Speaking of Dollerton, he's now up into the 5th position. So right now, Dollerton, if we were to say anybody that mathematically had a shot in for the championship, if we were to look at that scenario, Chris Dollerton right now would be in line for 16 points. So let's just say, for instance, that with the live point standings, if Dollerton were running right there 16 points, then Dillon Young in this race would have to be running... Actually, no, Dillon Young, I just looked. If Chris Dollerton were running right where he is, and both Jonny Gardner and Dillon Young had managed to make it into the race, and one of them had led the most laps, with where Dollerton's running right now, Dollerton would have the championship locked up, because that would put Dillon Young 23 points behind Chris Dollerton with where he is right now, and it would put Jonny Gardner 28 points back. So that is amazing that Chris Dollerton, even if he had had a challenge, now obviously not saying that if, you know, Dillon Young and Jonny Gardner made the race that circumstances would have been exactly the same. I'm just saying with Dollerton's running right now, I mean, that's incredible. That is amazing. Although, wait a minute, what the world's going on with the 12? Chris Dollerton comes to a stop. The car is slowing. Something's wrong on that machine. And he's going to have to teleport to pit road. He was in 5th. We got another car in trouble. That's Cole Baker. What in the world's going on? Maybe that mechanical problem by Kyle Mathews wasn't such a strange thing after all. We've got a couple of drivers with some problems here. Baker was slow on the back straightaway. Dollerton, who's going to win the championship, he is now on pit road as we got a battle here for second. Wyatt Quail has finally gotten to the back bumper of Jack Mitchell, and he's going to make a move down here into turn 1. And I wonder if maybe Jack Mitchell's been holding up Wyatt Quail. If Quail can clear Mitchell for second, will Wyatt Quail be able to start reeling in the race leader? And that last time by, lap times were pretty similar between the 29 and the 1. Boy, Jack Mitchell battling back there on the top side. Every lap they continue to do this is going to allow Kyle Thomas to be able to pull away. Wyatt Quail's got to pull off the slide job. Tries to get up in front, and he didn't have him cleared. And Wyatt Quail's going to go around off the nose of Jack Mitchell. Can't fault Mitchell there. Wyatt Quail tried to squeeze up in front of him. Look out, here comes Michael Norman. He's going to clear him. That moves the 3 into P3. Quail's going to drop back to 4th, and I don't know if he'll lose that spot. Derek Hamill and Jonathan Zoerlein charging up here, 5th and 6th. Want to see if the 12 is still on pit road or not. Yeah, he is. And now they're going to service the car. So I don't know what was up with Chris Dollerton, but that car all of a sudden seemed to lose power. And another incident for the second position, and that's going to allow Kyle Thomas to just drive away right now. Looks like Kyle Thomas is going to be en route to his first main event win on the season. Up to this point in the live standings, 27 points to start, or to his credit, as Dollerton will return to the track. He is 14th now. He's off the lead lap. He will finish ahead of Kyle Mathews, so now it looks like he'll be getting about 7 points here in the main event. And boy, now you look at what the problem that Dollerton had. Now you think about what if Dillon Young and Jonny Gardner had made it. That definitely would have put them mathematically in the hunt for the championship with the issue we just saw Dollerton just have. So Dollerton probably very thankful that his competition did not make it into the main event, because right there, whatever that mechanical issue was, whether it was electrical, mechanical, whether it was a tire down, what have you, that could have just taken his championship away. That would have been very, very interesting. It's going to be 7 laps to go for Kyle Thomas as he hits the line. He's enjoying almost a 4-second advantage between himself and Jack Mitchell, and there's the truck of Chris Dollerton between them as well. Michael Norman running right now in the 3rd position. Good battle going on back here, though, for around 5th place. Derek Hamill and Jonathan Zoerlein. And they are reeling in, little by little, the 4th place truck of Wyatt Quail, who wrecked while trying to battle with Jack Mitchell for 2nd. He's recovered. He's still in the top 5. Jordan Lopez, who won the 2nd heat, he's now up in 7th. But he is about 4 seconds behind the next driver of Jonathan Zoerlein. Zack Winkle right now in 8th. Good run for a guy making his debut here in the main event. Matthew Rodriguez currently in 9th, and the first driver to run into trouble today, Cole Deaver, right now in 10th. He's actually battling with Bobby Frazier for that spot. And behind them, you got Cole Baker there in the 11, who we saw slow in the back straightaway. Now dropped back to 12th as a result. And then right behind him is Kyle Thomas, who is the race leader and is now reeled in lap traffic. He just got around Seth Cole, put the 16 a lap down. So now, working with traffic, Kyle Thomas has to be careful here, because there's going to be only 4 laps to go, and he does not want to throw away this win. If he spins out, Jack Mitchell is right there, less than 4 seconds back, and he would be ready to capitalize. So if I'm Kyle Thomas, I'm just going to ride behind these guys. And he has to hope these guys ahead of him don't wreck either, because if they wreck and he's not able to avoid it, he could be throwing away a main event win. And Jack Mitchell could end up winning a heat and a main event in the same day. Thomas going to make the move to the inside of Baker. Trying to give him a little bit more room, it looked like there, off of 4. If Baker puts up a fight, I don't know how much of a fight Thomas is going to put up. He's not going to have to put up any fight. Nice move there. Kyle Thomas very easily makes the pass on Cole Baker. 38 truck gets a nice bite off the corner. Good corner exit, especially through the center. Now he's on the back bumper of Cole Deaver. He's about to start lapping trucks inside the top 10. Bobby Frazier just up ahead. 2 laps to go for Kyle Thomas. Remember back to Monster Rally, it looked like Kyle Thomas was going to make it into the main event. If I recall correctly, I think he ended up getting involved in a wreck in the closing stages or something like that. Didn't make it. Now going to try and pass Cole Deaver. Giving him lots of room. Uh-oh, slide up the corner. Don't crowd him, and he did! Oh my goodness, did he just throw away the win? Trying to get back to the throttle as soon as he can. Where's Mitchell? Mitchell's going to pass him. White flag in the air. Oh, Kyle Thomas had the win in the bag. He decided to battle with lap traffic, and that just cost him this victory. Jack Mitchell, who won the first heat race to make it into the main event, he's going to come through turns 3 and 4, and he's going to almost practically be handed the win here today in the main event. It's going to be Jack Mitchell crossing the line and winning the main event here today at Fuel Motorsports Park. Chris Dollerton finishes behind him off the lead lap, but how about that? The race winner and the season champion finished nose to tail, one behind the other, coming to the checkered flag. Thomas did recover to finish in second ahead of Michael Norman, but oh my goodness, the emotions he's got to be feeling right now. He made the choice to try and pass drivers on the tail end of the lead lap, and he crowded Cole Deaver off turn 4. Deaver had nowhere to go except the wall, and when he hit it, he came down into Kyle Thomas's right rear, spun him around. I thought maybe Thomas, when he spun, I thought there was one opportunity. He might have been able to get back to the throttle and get the car righted, but it was still in a spin, looped around another time, and that was all the time that Jack Mitchell needed to pass him for the lead and eventually the win. Wow. Unbelievable. What a way to finish out the season. What an exciting finish. So Jack Mitchell, I believe he is he finishes out the season as the only driver to have won a heat race and a main event race in the same day. I'd have to check back on that, but I think that is the case. He'll win today's season finale over Kyle Thomas. Michael Norman will bring it home in third. I think Norman will finish out the season overall second in the point standings. Wyatt Quail will probably be up inside the top 10 in the points as well, so he'll finish fourth, and Hamill will finish out the day in fifth. Great run for those drivers to finish out what was a pretty good year for them. Jonathan Zoerlein brings it home 6th. Jordan Lopes, winner from our second heat, will finish 7th. Zack Winkle in his main event debut will finish in 8th. 9th was Matthew Rodriguez, and Bobby Frazier, also in his main event debut, will finish in 10th. And it was Cole Deaver, Cole Baker, Seth Cole. Chris Dollerton, with that issue we saw, he'll finish 4 laps down, 14th, but with making the main event, that iced the championship for him. And Kyle Mathews finished out of the race due to a mechanical problem, a camshaft issue, had him finish the main event behind the wall. But what a race, what a season. This was a very interesting format, a lot of fun to do, and maybe, just maybe, at some point, we will see this back for a second season. But congratulations to Jack Mitchell on the win, and Chris Dollerton, 2 wins in 5 races, and he is your Season 1 NNSCRA Stadium Super Truck Series champion. Hope you guys enjoyed this race and this season. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Check down the description below. Warning, spoilers are your point standings after this season finale. It's your final point standings for the season. And we will see you guys for the upcoming season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series, as well as the 4th season of the NSRL. The NRSL, easy for me to say, Reese's Rally Car Series. That's going to be coming up as well here on the channel. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you guys next time as you've been watching Production NNSCRA Off-Lane Racing as Best. Chris Dollerton is your champion in the NNSCRA Stadium Super Truck Series.